Okay, so I want to do a quick introduction to Zotero and what a reference manager is and can do for you. Um, a reference manager is a program that can do several things at once. So it's if you're familiar with the kind of programs within Word that already kind of format your references in bibliographic style and things like that. That is something it can do, and it does it very easily, but it does much more than that. And Reference Manager software includes things like Zotero, which I focus on this in my courses because this is free, and most of the other reference manager software packages are pay, and they're kind of expensive. And when you leave the university, although we do have a subscription to one of them. I think RefWorks, possibly we still have that subscription. Even if you get that through your university account, when you leave the university, you may not have access to it. So I'd like you to have something that you can actually develop here and then take forward in life and take to your next school or whatever you do next. EndNote is another big package. That's what I had when I was in graduate school, and I had, a huge EndNote library. That was pay, and it's quite expensive. It was free when I was in school, but after that, it wasn't. So I really like the fact that Zotero has been open access for at least a decade now. It's been around for a long time. So what a reference manager does for you is it will help you as you're doing research. So in another segment I just did online, I talked about picking up research sources through some kind of search engine like Google Scholar or JSTOR or whatever you want to use. If you're online and doing this kind of research, so for example, I was at this site, I don't know why it's so large, let me make it a little smaller. So I was at this site and I had found this article. Let me go show you the link. So I did a Google Scholar search on the zooarchaeology of pigs. I chose this, I could choose any of these. I'm going to stay away from the PDFs just for a minute. I'll explain why in a minute, but I'm going to go to this HTML file. So I'm at this article, and I can, first of all, I'm sitting here doing research, and I chose this because of its title. That seemed interesting. And then I looked at the highlights, which kind of sum up whether or not it's going to be useful to me. And then I'll scroll down and look at the abstract. And, if all of that looks interesting to me, what I can do using Zotero is there's a single click I can use to save this file into an online database for myself. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So one of the things that this does is it makes that kind of research process extremely fast and very automated. And you still have to do a little bit of work to make sure that it's collecting the right data, but honestly it makes your research super easy. Okay, so it will create an online database for you. The second thing it will do is it will help you when you're writing a paper. You actually need to put in-text citation. So if we look back at this paper, and this happens to be open access for some reason, I think I've opened it here. So in-text citation is citation like this, and if you haven't done this before for a class, you need to know how to do it now. Hopefully you're already familiar with this, but when you're citing sources, you need to cite your information source right in the sentence that in which it's being used. And note here how this is being cited. It's not at the beginning of the sentence, it's right after the specific information that's being used, kind of in the middle of the sentence here. So you've got this in-text citation. when you're writing a paper for one of your professors at school, you need to be doing this as well, and you need to do it in the proper format. So Zotero actually works as a plugin that helps you get your citations into your paper quickly, easily, and in the proper format. And then Zotero will automatically, it'll scan the citations you put in your text, and it will automatically create a references cited section for you when you click a button. The whole thing is done. You don't have to type anything. You don't have to worry about formatting because you'll choose the formatting. You can easily revise the formatting. So this is what a reference manager does for you. And some of your professors will have a different take on this. So some of them want you to type the references in one at a time and learn how to do the formatting. I'm not one of those professors. I don't want to worry about whether or not you're getting that formatting right, because I assume if you get to the point where you're publishing papers, you'll know how to format, you'll know how to use this type of reference manager, and that's not going to be an issue. You just need to make sure things are consistent, and I don't want to be policing your paper to make sure that everything that's in your in-text citation is in your references cited section, and vice versa. This takes that problem off the board. You don't have to worry about that. All you have to do is get the in-text citation in the correct place for your information. Okay, so that's why I'm going to go through how to use Zotero. That's basically an overview of what it does.